Everybody. Can you guys hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Sounds just fine.
So what we're going to go through again tonight is more Jenkins material. It's like a continuation of things we did last week. So if you are just joining our webcast, watch last week's before you watch this week's if you don't know what Jenkins is. The first thing I want to do here is share my screen. Can you guys see Jenkins there okay?
Perfectly.
Yep.
Indeed.
All right, so signing in. Last week we learned that, well, you guys tell me, what did we learn last week about Jenkins? What is this tool again? What did we learn we could use it for?
You mean other than continuous integration?
I'll accept that as one of the things. Sure, what else could we do with it?
Fires up environments that are capable of running what it is that we're trying to execute. So be it containers that have Ansible or, things like that.
Okay, so we can tell Jenkins the worlds it needs to build and manage in order to do pretty much anything. It's our do anything Swiss Army knife. What we didn't learn or have time to really rock on in great detail was, there it is, how to trigger Jenkins to do work. We were looking more at could it do work, and specifically could it do work triggering Python scripts. I was thinking, can we look at something beyond just clicking the button and tell it to start doing things. So if we go down to build triggers, that's ultimately, hey, Jenkins, this is when you know to do something. So triggers build remotely from scripts, build after other projects are built, build periodically, GitHub hook trigger for SCM polling and pull SCM. The top two are pretty easy to understand. I want to have some API maybe exposed. Jenkins exposes lots of APIs. You put /API on pretty much any endpoint, I believe, and it'll tell you, here's how you can, here are the APIs that are currently exposed or can be exposed for this particular operation. So if we wanted to have some Python client that we use to hit some API and tell Jenkins, get to work, do a build is just work to do, we could check that box. If we wanted to have some other project run, and as a result, this one get triggered, we could check that next box. If we have some time at the end, we'll check that out. Build periodically is more or less a cron technique. So if we came down here and said, okay, let's look at could we set this thing to run every 15 minutes or something like that? I'm sure we could, or maybe could we set it to run every 2 minutes, right? 12:05, is that it now-ish? Yeah, I think that's...
You mean Zulu? Yeah, it is.
Doesn't look like 2 minutes from now, though, does it? It would have run this time, and next time would have run. We'll put 3 here and see if that... I'll tell you what, I'll put 15. That's the every 15 minutes. That's fine. And I'll come down. Okay, that's sort of would have run. Oh, that's the last time it would have run, and next time. Okay, that makes a little more sense. I'll hit save, and at least we know in the next 15 minutes, if we still are webcasting, that would potentially run. But that's as simple as building a periodic cron trigger. I guess maybe you want to, I don't know, clean out the garbage of the recycle bin every 2 days or something like that. You build periodically. A webhook is a bit more interesting. The concept here is that we have probably an SCM platform like GitHub, and GitHub, when it has an event, like a commit push to it, we can have that particular branch, a commit to some particular branch, actually push out and notify our Jenkins platform here and tell it, hey, maybe it's time to do some work. And doing that's real easy. Step one is going to be hop out to the repo that you want to set a webhook up on. Step two, somebody has a hot mic, by the way. I'm hearing your feedback.
Hold on. Well, I'm going to mute. Tell me if that helps.
Step two is to go, yeah, that's better. Step two is to go into settings and come down to webhooks here. And then you just have to add a webhook. So if I hit add webhook here, so I just changed my password today.
Did you spell password with a 0 instead of an O? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I spelled QWERTY with a K instead of a Q.
Okay.
So once you come in here, once you have your webhook thing, you set this to JSON. And the payload URL turns out just to be Jenkins. This would be your publicly accessible socket for Jenkins. So for me, it's just that path right there. And then I can put on the end of that GitHub Webhook. You just spell it out with a trailing slash. We don't need secrets or anything. You keep all these by default and just hit add webhook. And that's it. Once upon a time, I thought there was a way to test webhook, but we should be able to test it simply by saving this. So that's, you check both these boxes, you hit save. I don't know why our build periodically disappeared, but we can hit save on that. And now out on my GitHub, I just need to make a commit. So maybe I don't know, edit my Jenkins file here. It doesn't matter what the commit is. I've made a commit to GitHub. I should be receiving a notification, HTTP notification down to Jenkins. Jenkins should be, there it went. I just saw a 5 show up. Should be triggering. So 12:09, is that what time? Yeah, 12:09. That just happened. Any questions about that? What we just did there? Pretty cool, right? So even like your Plex server, your movie player in your house, you can set up webhooks to say dim the lights when you start your movies and stuff like that. So get out of your brain that it's just limited to something like Jenkins and pushing code around, that sort of thing. Webhooks are more or less everywhere. The last one, I don't know. Do we have to see build after other projects are built? I guess. We could grab the name of this project here. And maybe we could have, if we have this project trigger a different project. It really doesn't matter. Manual build, sure. We'll say this manual build project can run right here. Build after other projects are built. So freestyle. Docker agent Python. And it puts that trailing comma in white space. You got to get rid of that. So this will run after the project we just set up runs. So this has 3 project freestyle manual build is the name of this guy. Whoops, we'll go back to the dashboard. We'll go to the one we just linked it to, and we'll just manually say build now. So this should run to completion. We should get a 6 here, which we just did. And we're probably not fast enough, but the manual build, oh, there it goes. It's going. We saw it. It was on 3. And if we click on it, now it's on 4. All right, neat. So that's, those are the big ways, at least 3 ways, right? Cron, webhooks, and linking projects together. Oh, and scripting, hitting the API. You can figure that out. Hit /API on the end of anything, /API, and it just tells you, oh yeah, if you want to start automating, scripting even Jenkins, here's how to expose its APIs. All right, that's what I got for tonight. How was that? Pretty good?
Hey, that was great. That was great, Zach.
Yeah, that's something to chew on.
Well, you know, I'll tell you something else we did that this would work perfectly. There's certain code practices that we noticed that we were following, and simply grepping the code for these occurrences was a very rapid test on the code smell. It's like, we see this and call this to our attention. And it turned out to be just a simple one-liner that Sean and I have been using to sniff out potentially defective code. Jenkins would laugh at something like that. It would read the submission, check the one-liner against it, and it's either thumbs up or thumbs down, and send a message back that said, test reveals issues here. And it would be so easy to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure you'd find more stuff to use it for after that. But yep, that's the thought. Anybody else? Comments? Thoughts?
Nope, that's great.
I'm good.
Okay.
Thanks, Zach.
No problem.
Thanks.
I'll see you guys next week. I don't think it'll be my turn, but it'll be somebody's turn.
I think it'll be over to me.
Yeah, I think Chad's up next week.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, see ya. Bye, everyone.
Everybody.
See ya.